Welcome to the Sports Report, the Broncos Sports Report. I'm your host, Demetrius Wright, and my co-host is Austin Littrow.
Thanks, Demetrius. This Broncos Sports Report, we'll have all your action on UCO sports from the spring that are coming up.
Yes, we're going to talk about all the spring sports. I mean, let me give you the list. Let me just tell you the list of what we're talking about, because this is a lot. This is a lot going on here. We got men's basketball, men's baseball. It's not started yet, but it's coming. Men's wrestling. We got the hockey club. We're mentioning them. Golf. Let me get into the women's sports. We got women's basketball, women's softball, rowing, track, tennis, and golf. The women, yeah, do they have golf? Yeah, they play golf. We're talking about all the spring sports. We're talking about them all. Mm-hmm. Right.
So plenty of sports coming in this spring that we'll have information and keep you covered on.
Right, and we're not coming just off the top of the gun here with just two guys that just walked on off the street. We got a qualified sports reporter right here in Austin. All right?
Well, first off, Demetrius, we're going to start off with the wrestling team. They had a couple duels this weekend. They played Thursday night against Truman State, and then they had a duel against Lindenwood, both MIAA opponents, and they won both of them pretty. But Lindenwood was close. The UCO Wrestling escaped with a 19-18 victory, thanks to Zach Ayler beating the defending NWCA, that's the National Wrestling Coaches Association, the NWCA national champion. So that was a big win because that pretty much sealed the win for the Broncos. That was huge.
Yeah, and when it happened, it didn't right there. It looked like it was going to be a close duel. It looked like it was going to be a close match. And once we got that victory, the Broncos just ran down the hill with it, took over, took control.
Well, that match, actually, Lindenwood had a little streak going, and that win was just huge because if they got it, they probably lose the match.
Right.
Huge. And then before that, they wrestled Truman State, and they just thoroughly were dominant from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Against Truman State.
Against Truman State, they only gave up one. They only had one loss.
Yeah.
And
10 matches.
In 10 matches, I really thought they were going to sweep them. I really thought they were going to knock them out, take them out, and we would put up a big goose egg on them. But hey, we gave up one. One's better than nothing.
And Jordan, the matchup of the night came from Jordan Basks, who wrestled number 6 ranked Ryan Mouse, who's an All-American too, and defeated him 6-0. That was an impressive performance.
He dominated him. He controlled him from the opening go to the last bell. He controlled everything. He's a powerful thing in there.
And now Corey Dauphin actually has extended his streak with those to 39 straight wins, which is really impressive.
Think about that. 39 victories. That is hard. That is not something you do every day. You just walk up and say, hey, I got 39 victories. That is something you got to work at. 39 in a row victories.
I mean, it's an incredible number. It is a record. There's a reason why he's got this streak going, and he's a defending national champion.
Long as he stays healthy,
has a chance to go far. They were kind of slow there for a while, lost a couple duels in a row, but they've really got back on track. They've won 4 in a row, and I think they're heading in the right direction.
Yeah, I agree totally, because I think this year will probably be better than last year, and it's hard to top last year. But I really think this year will be better than last year.
We're also forgetting All-American, also number 1 ranked Chris Watson, who also had a victory. And so this team is just loaded.
Loaded. From top to bottom, this team is very loaded.
The middle weights, especially with Basks, Watson, and Dauphin. Mm-hmm. Those 3 right there, I think, have a good chance. All
right, next topic. Next topic will be men's basketball.
Basketball has been in action this past week.
Mm-hmm.
They lost. They're coming in. They're struggling right now. They've lost 3 out of 4, including an overtime heartbreaker to Fort Hays State, where they led pretty much the entire way, and then missed free throws and a 3-pointer pretty much sent it overtime, and Fort Hays just dominated on the offensive end. And that's kind of been a struggle for UCO this season, has been the defense. They can score, but if you can't defend,
then you're stuck. That's just how it is. You're stuck if you can't defend. Now, going back to that overtime lot, I was heartbroken. I was right there. I just knew we were going to win, and right there at the end,
at the free throw line, had a chance to win it, and it just didn't happen.
it broke my heart. But with that, I'm thinking that the boys are going to do better coming up.
Yeah, they play Pittsburgh. They got one tough game against Northeastern State, but they got 2 games around that. Pittsburgh State, who is 2-7 in the conference, they're next to last. It's a good chance for UCO to get some conference wins. They're a game below 500 in the conference. That's 8th place. But I think they got a chance against the Gorillas, who, with 2 matches coming up, to start maybe building some confidence and getting some victories.
Yeah, all they need to do is build some momentum. That's what the boys need. Once they start building some momentum, they will take off and go far in this league. And come tournament time, if they get some momentum now, they'll get into the tournament.
Yeah, I think they just because they can score. They got talent on the offensive end. If they can, they just have to outscore people because defending has kind of been a problem this year for the Broncos.
Yeah, it's hard to.
101 points in that overtime loss they gave up.
Yeah,
and then they also played Washburn and Emporia State and lost those matchups too. So they're in need of a victory right now.
They definitely are. It's the whole. It goes back to the old saying, defense wins championships.
Yes.
And you can win by scoring points, but you can't bring home the big trophy unless you defend.
Because if you got a good offense, but you're off on one night and you're not playing defense and you can't defend, you're going to get ran out of the building.
Right. That's just what – and we don't want that. You can't have that. And I'm really sure that the Broncos from now on are going to pick it up because I got faith in them, and they're moving up.
Now, if the women's basketball team, they're kind of 5-6 in conference, 10-8 overall. They've also lost 3 out of the last 4 to the same teams. But in defense, they are better than last year because last year they suffered from a 9-game losing streak.
They had a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
Last year they had a lot of injuries. They weren't as good. This year, I'm thinking they're getting better. They're building.
Yeah, they are getting better, but the problem for them is the offensive side of the ball. They are 13th out of 14 teams in the MIAA in shooting percentage and 10th in the MIAA in scoring.
Okay, on women's basketball, it's one of those. Okay, they're 10th in scoring. That's kind of bad. It's not great. It can be improved upon, but they are better than last year.
Yeah, they are. They haven't had the long losing streak. They do have talent. I can see them building in the future.
And you know, with the women's basketball team, they're a little streaky.
Yeah.
Because sometimes this year they've been on a winning streak of 3 or 4 games, 5, 6 games, and then they slightly don't win a couple of games. But then they go back on this winning streak. So they've
kind of been inconsistent. I don't know about the 5 to 6 game winning streaks. They haven't got.
Okay, maybe it's just in my mind that they won 5 or 6 games.
They are streaky. They'll win some here and then they'll lose some. And shooting wise, they're streaky too.
Yeah, they are. They're streaky. And that's not a good thing. Yeah. And they can do better on that. And we're just going to hope that they do. Okay, next sport. The next sport we're going to talk about.
It's going to be track and field.
Yes.
They've had a couple. They've started off the season pretty well. I mean, Lacey Rhodes has won already a couple gold medals, and they had in their first, the Sooner Opener is what it's called, Norman. They had 3 gold medalists, and they other high-ranking
finishers.
So they're off to a good start too. Lacey Rhodes especially, and then Norman again the next week. Ashley Bryant set school records in the.
Did she?
Weight throw and the shot put. So that's impressive too. She finished in the top 10, and of course Lacey Rhodes won another gold.
Wow.
First again.
Okay, I've been paying attention to track. I'm a little off. I'm sorry. I haven't been paying attention to track. I was waiting for it to get warm to start really focusing in on track. But with that, with Lacey Rhodes setting records and the team itself being consistent and being the powerhouse, all I see is good things for the future of this team.
I mean, again, it's young season. Don't know a whole lot about them, but so far it's a good start for them.
Right. And I really think they're going to do pretty good.
Yeah, because Lacey Rhodes is really good.
Yeah.
She'll be good all year.
Yeah, she is the star of the team.
Yeah. And then from Rhodes, we got the UCO Hockey Club. They're in a big final couple of weekends here, trying to keep the second place finish in the WCHL.
Yes. And let me tell you about the hockey team. Hockey has become my new third favorite sport. Football is number 1, basketball number 2, and then right coming down number 3 is hockey. I didn't even pay attention to hockey, didn't even know what hockey was. I started watching hockey because of these boys, the UCO hockey team, once I started watching them, oh my God, they're wonderful.
They were impressive against Colorado in a 4-1 victory. I mean, they got off quick, 2 early goals in the first quarter and period, and they never really looked back. And the offense was just attacking constantly throughout the game.
Yeah, those guys, they could have had more. Really, they really could. Colorado's goalie, I think he blocked like 25 shots. I don't know.
It had to be something like that.
It was a lot. The men's hockey team, the hockey goalie for UCO, he was bored out of his mind because he sat down alone by himself the whole game.
Action in the third period, but
yeah,
that's because I think we kind of went more into a defensive strategy, so Colorado controlled the puck more.
Right.
We tried to keep the lead.
We have 7 guys that are injured, 4 of which are some of our top defensemen out of 6. So we had to have guys fill in. So these are guys that haven't got a lot of time on the ice, and they've had to they have limited experience this whole semester as well as season. So I thought that they stepped up, played pretty well. Naturally, we got the win. That was good, but we gained a lot of experience tonight just by having that. Our forwards played extremely well. They pressured those guys. They got a lot of opportunities, and we actually scored.
Hockey, and they're second place right now in front of OU.
Mm-hmm.
They got, if they can keep, and they're rivals too, so there's some bragging rights too, finishing ahead of OU. And they 2 games this next weekend that are big.
Huge. They're huge. And this is going to affect them come tourney time, because when hockey goes to tournament time, I start doing some research on them. They gotta go far. They gotta travel, and they have got to win these next couple.
Yeah, this is huge. Obviously, the better seed possible is going to help us out. But our goal is just to be rolling hard and going into nationals, and that's our goal, is to win a national championship.
I think discipline. Like, we get down to these close games against these top teams, and sometimes our discipline sneaks into it, get shorthanded, and those top teams, they capitalize on us.
Now, currently, according to seeding is at the line too in this matchup.
Right now they're seated a little higher than we are, but hopefully with all the rest of the year and what's going on with the Nationals, we'll be able to make our mark.
So they have to beat OU this weekend.
Yeah, and they'll be one in Norman, and the next day they go
back to
Arctic Edge Arena in Oklahoma City.
And it's 2 versus 3, and they're back and forth.
Yeah,
and they are close and rivals.
Yeah, and then they finish off the season. They had a couple of games, at least one game against Indiana that was canceled. A couple. So they'll finish off against OU, and then the weekend they'll play Iowa State up in Ames. So
another tough one.
Yeah.
In Iowa State.
Yeah. So big final weekend coming up for the Broncos before they head to the national tournament.
Yeah, and they got to get it. But hockey is my new favorite, third favorite sport.
Yeah, hockey
is great.
Hockey was great.
I am thoroughly impressed with hockey. I went and filmed it. It is great. It's fun to watch. Okay, our next sport. Now we're gonna go to softball. Softball, women's softball. They're coming off the championship. Which was totally unexpected. I just thought they were going to do well. I didn't know they were going to
usually do well.
Wonderful. I didn't know they were going to be great.
Solid pitching was big in that, and timely hitting and stuff like that. I watched that game. It was a really great game.
Yeah, I just thought they were going to do well. I didn't know they were going to do great.
Division 2 and 1 national championships coming from Oklahoma. I thought that was really cool.
That is wonderful. So good props to them.
Question mark though, for the ladies this semester. Their head coach is gone. Interim coach is assistant coach Cody White. Jenny Stidham left to Texas Women's University. It's kind of caught me by surprise, leaving a national championship team.
Just out of the blue, she was gone.
But they still have the talent and people returning up. I think he'll do a good job, and I think they'll be fine. They're ranked number 2 already in the country, so I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, definitely. They'll definitely be fine because it's not like he's changing the program.
Yeah.
You know, he's not going to start pitching big apples instead of softballs. They're going to do fine. He's not changing the program. They're going to do fine. They got this history going. So from there, they're just going to expand on it.
Yeah.
We're getting a new a new softball. We're getting a new softball stadium. And so they're going to play better because you always play better when you got new clothes.
They've redone the softball field, which is good. I think they needed that. I think improvement in facilities was necessary.
It was terrible. It was ugly. It was nasty. And it looked little.
Yeah.
And we can't have these big old trophies running around on a little bitty field. We need a big field that shows off our big, huge trophies. That's what softball's all about, huge trophies.
I'm glad they're finally
Getting a field that's...
on the softball field. It's deserved after you win a national championship.
Yes, it is.
And the ladies will be in action starting February 7th in Las Vegas in the Desert Stinger Tournament.
Desert Stinger Tournament.
Yeah. So softball getting ready to start. Also getting ready to start is tennis.
Tennis.
UCO, there's some pretty high expectations for the Broncos in tennis, too.
Huge expectations because they're ranked third.
They're picked third in the MIAA, which is where they finished last season.
Right.
And again, one of the teams is the defending national champion. Well, defending champion Southwest Baptist. They're good. And then this team last year's 3 returning starters. So they'll be solid from a 17 and 14. So I think the tennis program is
solid.
It's here to stay for a while.
Yeah, it is good. They are. I have high expectations for the tennis team. I'm thinking third. If they place third or anything lower than third, it's a terrible season. I'm thinking 1 or 2.
I wouldn't go that. I'd say third and up is a good. Because, 3 returning starters, there is still some new players who didn't start, too. So you got to take that into account. I think, but there is talent for at least a third place finish.
I'm thinking better than that. I'm thinking we can go higher than that.
High expectations.
Either we're first or second, or there's nothing else. That's what I'm saying.
And then,
let's see our next sport. Our next sport. What have we not talked about? Golf.
Golf program's starting up too, and pretty high expectations on the ladies' side after their fall season.
Yeah.
They played in 7 tournaments, finished top 10 in all of them, including 5 first place finishes. That's impressive.
That's very impressive. I haven't really paid attention to golf. I'm just now getting into it. I'm learning about it. So you're going to have to enlighten me on the golf team. I'm learning. But what I've read is that those girls are good.
Yeah, they're gonna continue to be good this year. I think they'll be solid too. And the guys program, they're young. They only got 2 seniors, so I think they're gonna build.
And anytime you have a whole bunch of returning starters,
it helps.
Yeah.
And they'll have more experience going on. Because only 2 seniors on this program, only 1 junior.
Oh, yeah.
So it's mostly sophomores and freshmen.
Yeah.
So in 3 to 4 years, this team
will dominate.
Yeah, they're going to.
If not already dominate now.
Yeah, they're going to be pretty good in the future. And then, of course, we got baseball that's coming up. I think this team's improving steadily under Coach Dax Leone. They're getting better, and I think they'll improve on last season. They had a good season last year. And I think they'll just continue to build under Coach Leone.
I'm thinking the baseball team will surprise everyone because the baseball team has some hidden gems in there. They got a couple of freshmen coming in, and they're not. As soon as those guys realize that they're not playing high school ball anymore and they're playing in the big leagues with the big boys here.
Yeah,
I'm really thinking they're gonna really pick up. And baseball's gonna have a good season.
It all depends on pitching.
Yeah,
pitching to me is the X factor for this team.
Yes, this team.
I think they're gonna be able to hit.
Yeah, we got some hitters. I
watched their scrimmage, and they were able to hit pretty well. But pitching, that left a question mark in my mind with this team, the pitchers.
Yeah, I had the same question mark because I wasn't really too strong on their pitching. But their hitting, again, their hitting is good.
I still think they
got a lot of speed. And
said they've steadily increased, gotten better each year under Coach Leone, and I think they'll continue.
Me too. I totally agree on that. What other sports we got? Okay, we're going to change it. Not only are we going to talk about in this spring semester, are we going to talk about UCO sports? That's going to be our big thing. But we also are going to talk about high school sports.
We'll keep you updated on the schools in the Edmond area because high school basketball playoffs is about to start soon. So we'll keep you updated on that as well.
And with the high school sports, especially in Edmond, they're looking to bring home a gold ball. Maybe 1 or 2 schools battling for 1 and 2 in the state. Not just here in Edlin. We're talking the state. There's 2 schools in there that are looking really good. We'll get to that more later on.
We're still in the regular season.
We're still in the regular season, so I don't.
Slow it down a little bit, but we'll keep you updated on high school sports and the playoffs as they go along.
Yeah. Also, we're going to keep you advised on the national, because we got Thunder, we got the Olympics coming up, so we're going to keep you advised on every little bit of everything.
For the Bronco Sports Report, but we want to kind of throw more into it as well.
Yeah, we're going to cover it. We want to cover sports, so we're going to cover sports so that you, the viewer, can keep
be
up.
Updated constantly.
Yes, you can be constantly. And plus, even if you're not interested in it, we're interested in it. So we're going to talk about it because we are the Bronco Sports Report. He's the genius. I'm just the guy that sits around. But we are going to talk about sports. That's what we do. And we're going to have some features coming up this month.
We're hoping to get some guests into the studio.
Yeah, we want to get some guests coming up. A couple of the hockey players, maybe one or two of the basketball players.
If we can get them, yeah, sure.
Yep. We'll get them to cut class or something. We don't know.
Yeah.
Who goes to class?
Yeah, seriously.
What's that for? I've been here 10 years. It's the first time I ever seen a classroom. But what I'm saying is we're going to have fun this year. You're going to have fun. This is going to be a great sports year. Austin, you got anything else?
That's pretty much it.
I don't have anything else.
That's all for the Bronco Sports Report.
All right, that's it from the
See you
Bronco
next
Sports.
week.
See ya.